Evening folks, day 2 GoPro. It's now gone 12 o'clock here. It's gone midnight. We only finished at 10, going to have a grub. Now I'm back here at camp. Just thought I'd better give you a quick summary of today's events and what happened. But we kicked off with Irigwari. Just going to go through my notes quickly and just give the pointers, make it quick and short and sweet. Just hopefully you guys will learn something. But Eric speaks of having two businesses. You have your multi-level marketing business, or your network marketing business as it were, and a business to manage your money. Guys, those of you who stick to the game, you're going to make, good money. And the suggestion there is that you have, just let me get that right, my little phone's falling down. The suggestion is that you have a business to manage those funds, because if you stick this out, you're going to make a lot of money. It's as simple as that. And then he went on to a very important part of your business is creating your story. Your story is about the business is about conversation, and that conversation revolves around your story. You create a good story, you engage with people, you share your story, and that's how we get people involved in business. And there are basically 4 steps to telling your story. Your background, where you come from, then what you didn't like about where you were in your life, talking about before you got involved in this business, and how you found a solution. And it could be that simple. I mean, mine is my background, obviously financial planning, financial advice. What I didn't like about it, well, I was pretty much going nowhere. I was otherwise. I had a few issues there. I clashed with the institutions. I'm a nonconformist, and the solution I found is very much, I've come across a product distributed through network marketing. The product is phenomenal. It makes people money, falls in line with what I do. And so those 4 questions, your background, what you didn't like, how you found a solution, and how you feel about the future. And of course, in our environment with cryptos, it's the new money. It's just starting. So we are ideally placed. What he did point out, though, we did a couple of exercises with people chatting about our conversation, our story, and if you do just steps 3 and 4, you're selling. It doesn't work. Try and chat to somebody simply about your solution that you found and how you feel about the future. Just doesn't work. So you build rapport with people by asking them the questions 1 to 4 about their background, about what they don't like about what they're doing, and engage in a conversation. Let the conversation evolve and discuss business at an appropriate opportunity. Then we had our guest speaker. First speaker of the day was none other than Magic Johnson. What a remarkable story. The guy was short and he was quick and he was straight to the point, which is what I liked. The simple things he said: leaders know how to win despite the odds. Guys, the crypto markets are down. We still persevere because we know where they're going. He talks about self-evaluation and business evaluation, simply a SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And he talks about turning your weaknesses into opportunities. Discipline, huge. He's big on discipline. Wakes up early in the morning, hits the gym, and then he's at work, and gets to bed early. His goal is to make money while sleeping. Way back when he came up with the goal, he was a famous basketball player, and he knew when that finished, he wanted to get into industry and get into business where he could earn while he's sleeping. Quite simple. He did homework and research. So he decided, and he needed a mentor. So for him it was quite easy. He tapped into some high-profile businessmen, phoned them up and offered to take them for lunch. Of course, being who he is, nobody was going to say no. And so that's where he kind of started from. Identified some leaders who didn't turn him down for lunch. And so through that process, he identified a market for him: Latinos and African Americans. He started off with a theater. They told him it wouldn't work. He thought the Americans, the Latinos, the poorer Americans, nobody caters for them. So it's your inner city people, the big city, the urban folk, he calls them, as opposed to your suburbia. And so he built theaters because he thought that was cheap entertainment, these Magic Johnson theaters, and grew a massive business out of that. It was very, very successful. Then he went on to coffee shops. told us a story about coffee shops. He had the first black guy to have a Starbucks, I think, if I recall correctly. And but they had to change the menu to cater for the population, the urban population, the inner city population. They were not the same as suburbia. And he talks about business having an exit strategy. His whole idea was to build a business and flog it. So your long-term or a short-term strategy. Know your customer and over-deliver. That's exactly what he did. Build the businesses to pay for each other and have the lifestyle when you can afford it. Don't start making bucks and then go spending it. Build up the businesses, build up more businesses, and then when you can afford the lifestyle, that's when you have the lifestyle. What he did say is your competitor can make you better. There was a famous basketball match, college basketball match 40 years ago, and it's still the most famous college basketball match. Magic Johnson again, and the other team had another famous player, and that was his adversary. And he talks about how that person put him under pressure to make him perform. He evolved and he went into healthcare. He bought a healthcare business for $20 million and he sold it for $800 million purely by taking the healthcare, changing the doctors to African Americans and Latino doctors and catering for that population. Grew the business dramatically. So they served the community. I'm just trying to make sense of my notes here. So what he talks about is his focus on your goals and your dreams. Prepare. Perfectionist. He talks about being a perfectionist. Never assume anything. And live your business every day of your life. Belief. And talk to lots of people. Tell them what you do. Then from Magic, we went on to Jeff Roberti. His first quote was, "Fortune is in the follow-up." Quite an interesting guy. He got an award this evening, a $100 million income per year. Sorry, Magic Johnson. He heads up a company where he effectively manages this huge investment company, which is his investment company, which is worth well over $1 billion US. In fact, I think it's worth a few billion US. So back to Jeff Roberti. Simply, for things to change, you have to change. You will get everything you want if you help others get what they want. That's a Zig Ziglar quote. Put their needs ahead of your own. He talks about the 3-foot rule. He calls it like target practice. He says, talk to everyone. Anybody who's in 3 foot of you, you talk to them. He calls it target practice. Just talk to them. Yeah? Some of them aren't going to come on board. Those are your practices, and then the ones that do come on board, that's fantastic. Discipline, consistency, attitude. Lead by example. And how this all happens is about your why. These are all things that Andrew Eaton teaches us. He himself lost his father to a heart attack when his dad was 47. That was his why. His father, under stress, pressure, trying to provide for the family. Comes from a poor background, as most of these guys do. And that's what motivated him to change his life. And one of Jim Rohn's famous quotes is, if it's to be, it's up to me. It's simple, guys, up to you. Belief. It's all about belief, that. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. These are famous quotes. I think there might be a Jim Rohn as well. If I could show you a way how we can make money together or can make $1,000 part-time, would that interest you? Simple question. Set the intention, guys. This is a business. Set an intention in your business. You can't manage what you can't measure. Action. Teach and share what we have learned. Take action, guys. The stuff you're learning, take action. So he talks about an RPM, as in a car is an RPM. Results, purpose-driven, and massive action. So that was from Jeff Roberti. Next up, we had Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing panel, which was actually quite good. Again, they talk about your why. These are women that a lot of them started from hardship. That's why they got into this, out of hardship. and made a huge success of it. A lot of the women was freedom for their family. This business allows you to do a lot more for your family with time and money. It's good. The one lady was quite pretty good, where she said, we are extraordinary people who want extraordinary things. Find your tribe and love them hard, they say. That's what they talk about, building a team. Build a team. Love your team. Look after your team, because it's your team that's going to make you wealthy. That's what the strategy 2 is about. It's the team you build that's going to make you wealthy, which is why I'm trying to educate you guys. We work on this together. So thank you for your contribution. Then what was next? 7 skills. This was Eric Worre discussing the 7 skills. There are 7 skills necessary to become a network marketing professional. On a scale of 1 to 10, we had to do a little exercise here, but the 7 skills are simply finding prospects, inviting prospects, presenting to the prospects, following up with the prospects, closing those prospects, helping new distributors get started, and promoting events. That 7th one is massive for these people. All the big earners get their team members to these big events. And guys, you seriously have to consider next year is the 10th annual GoPro event. It's going to be huge, and there are massive discounts on the tickets. If you can pay before we get back on the 9th, before we leave here on the 9th of December, it's going to be $210 US for a ticket. But that special's been posted on the groups. Then Andrew Eaton was on a Around the World panel discussing network marketing, and Andrew, how he's big on build a base at home first. Guys, important you start building your business around you, closest to you. That is going to be your bread and butter, and then you start expanding into international. However, I don't believe you should ignore international, especially if you have contacts. And then we had Alex Morton. Alex Morton, I'll send little clips on photos on the group just now of all these people, their summaries, but Alex Morton, these guys are incredible speakers, guys. Again, they're people, some of them were born in network marketing families and have done exceptionally well. We're talking guys that were young and became millionaires in their 20s. Alex Morton, very first thing he said, mind right, money will follow. Get your mind right and the money will follow. You don't have to know how, you just have to know. Guys, understand that. Just know that this works. Don't know how it works, just follow the program. That's all you have to do. You don't have to know how. You just have to know that it works, and then you follow the system. Goals are for people going places. There are 3 types of goals. He calls them A, B, and C. Most important being C, something we really, really, really want. A and B, short and medium term goals. C, something we really, really, really want. He calls it a goal card. I've got a photo of one. It's simply a goal card. Write down your goals in present tense as if you've already achieved them. And it simply starts as a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard. On the top is a sentence, I am so happy and grateful that I am. And write I am and all the things that you are. The things that you want to be, you write them down as if you are those things now. And you repeat that. They're called affirmations. Believe in yourself. Again, guys, believe in yourself. How you see yourself is how the world sees you. Self-esteem, a lot of us, I mean, look at my past, and even still, I know what people think of me, but I need to change that. And the only way to change that is to become successful. How you see yourself is how people see you. So we need to improve ourselves in order to change that. Become a leader. People will be afraid to not follow you when they know where you're going. Be clear on your goals and where you're going, and then people will follow you. He talks about energy. 55% is into your physiology, in other words, your physical presence, the way you are. 30% of energy into the words you use, and then 15% into how you actually say it. So 1 is energy, talks about. 2 is unwavering belief on where you're going. As I said, become a leader. People will be afraid not to follow you when you know where you're going. So in becoming a believer, your energy, your unwavering belief on where you're going. Be humble. Ego is the enemy. Go and Google that. There's actually a very good book on that. Be humble. Ego is the enemy. I can share it on the group if I remember to just now. Decisions shape destiny. Decisions shape destiny. You're one away from changing everything. We are all one decision away from changing our entire lives for that financial freedom that some of us are so desperately looking for. Energy creates absolutely everything. And he says, I will lead, believe, create, and I can't read the last word here. Define or defy. I will lead, believe, create, defy. Leaders, we're talking about leaders here, not followers. You've got employees and you have entrepreneurs. We want to be entrepreneurs. Then along came Nicola Smith Jackson, another story about extreme poverty, sadness in her family, how she came to the Americas. She speaks of BPR, private business reception. I think it's quite a nice name, that actually. Simply talking about what we call home meetings and our weekly meetings, where we have little teams get together, do presentations. Guys, we need to do more of that. We really, really need to do more of that, because your business will be determined by the number of people in your business that are doing these home meetings and private business presentations. You're training in these little sessions that you do in our training, you're training people who are employees to become entrepreneurs. Reasons why what she calls a private business reception. It's building your business you build your business into your lifestyle. These meetings become part of your life, as they're already part of mine. The startup cost of the meetings is minimal. Anyone can do these little meetings. You get to have a meeting, get a bunch of people around, and we discuss what we do. It's a simple philosophy. And these meetings do work, folks. Have these meetings, and the more people having meetings in your business, the bigger your business is going to go. And these meetings can be held anywhere, in your home, in a restaurant, coffee shop, hotel lobby, and of course I'm using Zoom. It's about leverage. These meetings give you leverage to build your business. Getting groups of people together is leverage. And keep it simple. It's that simple. Excuse the pun. It is simple. Keep it simple. And then she speaks about 5-question close. I've actually got a photo. I'd love to share that with you. There's 5 questions in the closing process. The one that resonates with me was, what does it mean to you and your team? Oh, sorry. I'll have to get those photos and I'll pop them onto the group, because they're on the phone and I'm busy recording. So what does it mean? So there's closing question. What does it mean to you and your team? More leaders, more presenters, doing activity, sales volumes up, duplication, promotion, people at live events, and winners. So that's what having these meetings, what it means to you and your team, is exactly a growth in your business. And I have a thing on the numbers. The number of meetings you have in your business will demonstrate the kind of income that you can earn. So then Eric actually went on to the skills of finding prospects. Finding prospects is quite simple. You want to collect friends. That's what all these guys talk about. Collecting friends, they call it. Everywhere they go, they make friends with people and engage in conversation, tell them their story, and look at people as being business partners. Do not prejudge people. And never fall in love with potential. You got friends with potential. Do not waste your energy on potential. They're either in or they're out. And we learn the questions to ask them for that. So, inviting prospects, the gateway skill. You have a boss and it's your diary. You need to put a gap in your diary consistently where you sit down and you're going to invite people. I'll go through this in more detail when we get back. But so your goal in inviting prospects is quite simple. The goal is education and understanding what we have. Teaching people, educating them and making them understand what we have. We are connecting people with a company to start their own business. Guys, understand what we're doing. Strategy 2 I'm talking about here. We are connecting people with our company in order that they can start their own business. What an amazing thing. Connect people with a company. Attention. Abundance. Realize there is abundance in this world. And exposure. Tell the story. Exposure. Tell your story to invite people to an exposure. An exposure is about an exposure to the business. It starts with a small discussion to start with, then watching the video clip and getting people to a meeting and then to a presentation or a monthly training event. Those are exposures. Tell your story and get people to any of those exposures. Inviting prospects, folks. If you're going to be a leader, you're going to have a willingness to be potentially publicly humiliated. A lot of people have very, very negative opinions about network marketing as a profession. Bite the bullet, start doing it. Once your business is growing, people will start having respect for you, and that's how it does happen. Learn how to deal with the problems. Those objections, this is a Ponzi scheme, blah, blah, blah. Learn the skills to deal with those. Skills build confidence. So upskill yourself, and there's a number of training. There's quite a bit of training material we have on upskilling yourself. Skill number 3, presenting. Use the tools. We've got third-party tools, guys. You don't have to be doing the presenting. You just share the link. Follow the correct process to share the link. But most important, tell your story, your background, what you didn't like about it. You found a solution and how you feel about the future. Tell that story and get people to connect with you, and then tell them why you're doing what you're doing and why it's going to benefit them, and get them to watch those links. The follow-up process. Skill number 4. At every step in the recruiting process, you'll come across questions and objections. Don't be afraid. This is a good thing. Whether they're asking for clarity or they're asking because they're skeptical, you can use 4 easy steps to help a person get through their objections. This is the follow-up. Dealing with objections, guys. Step 1. Excuse me, just listen. Step 2, relate to them. You can say, hey, the guy's got an objection. You know what? I mean, most of the time, I'm sure all of you, I certainly felt in the beginning what most people are feeling. I also had an issue with network marketing, Ponzi scheme, questions. Relate to them. Tell stories. Tell stories about exactly that. How you were in a similar situation, or you know somebody who was in a similar situation. And then a follow-up with an ask. You ask that old GoPro Eric Worre question. If I do this, will you? If I do this, would you do that? You're going to be handling objections throughout your career. Get together with your team and role-play common objections. The more you practice, guys, the more confident you will become. Andrew Eaton learned those objections, how to deal with them. He learned that stuff, and now he rolls it off his tongue. So following up simply is keeping the conversation going to the next exposure. The average person takes 9 touches to a yes for strategy 2. That's 9 exposures before they actually get into our. So they might buy the product initially, and then you keep in touch with them to get them to strat 2. If a person isn't committed, then you set an appointment for the next conversation. Again, what is follow-up? Follow-up is keeping the conversation going. When someone isn't committed, you say, fine, can we chat again in a week's time, a Tuesday's time, set the time. Objections are good because they actually help educate. When somebody has an objection, you teach them something through that and they get educated. You don't let them influence you, you must influence them. And do not get into arguments with people. It's important when a guy tells you he's got no money, don't believe him. Just go through the motions, follow the process. It's and by telling a story how hey, I had no money. In fact, my true story, I had no money when this business opportunity came my way. I actually borrowed the money to get involved at $400. Am I glad that I did it? Of course I'm glad I did it. I've turned that $400 into an income of well over $30,000, and I'm mining now with about $8,000 worth of mining equipment. That's from $400 2 years ago. So they have limiting beliefs, they're called. Deal with those limiting beliefs. They're called objections, limiting beliefs. People don't believe in themselves. They don't think they can do these things. It's, guys, when I look at all these people that are on the stage, they're all people who started practically from nothing, most of them, and they built up these massive businesses. And some of the ways to deal with objections are, when I started, I felt the same. you relate to a person, or they might not have time freedom. Because if I show you how I got time freedom, would that interest you? Because we get the network marketing haters. They've had previous bad experiences. Simple question, ask them the question, was it the networking that let you down? And most people say it wasn't the networking, it was somebody in the business or something like that. Guys, then we got the closing skill. There are basically 6 questions. Like we do, what did you like best about what you just saw? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you in this process? And then the next questions are important. If you were to get started on a part-time basis, so you ask them how much they would need to earn per month part-time. The next question is, how many hours could you commit? And the next question is, how many months would you be willing to work those hours a week while you were developing that kind of income? And the final question is, if I could show you how to develop an income of X amount from the question per month, working so many hours a week over the course of however many months they committed, would you be ready to get started? Practice these skills, folks. We'll go over them when I get back. And then helping new distributors get started. Then we had a whole session there. You guys, I've been through the get started with you guys. We're all learning that still. Eric has a thing that he calls over the line. When someone gets started, there's always a line between success and failure. On the one side of the line, it's easier for them to quit than to stay. On the other side of the line, it's easier for them to stay than to quit. And he has the easier to stay stuff, jung, 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 on the one side, and on the other side, the easier to quit is the opposite to easier to stay. And it's a question of working on those things to make them stay. So we did a few strategies around that. And the skills in helping someone get started, it'll bring duplication to your business. There were 5: validate their decision, set expectations, getting started checklist, create a game plan, and assignments. Work with your team. Pretty much what we do. So, and what he does say, the secret to success if people want to quit is getting them to stay 90 more days. They either move up in the business or they're out. And the key here again is systems. Systems, everyone knows the system, everyone does the system, and it works. And what that says to new prospects is, this looks simple, it will work, and I can do it. And there are systems for everything in this business. And of course, then it became event promotion. That was the big thing we finished off with. It was you want to become committed and believe in these events, guys. And I'm telling you, this GoPro event, get it in your mind now, guys. You got to come next year. You really need to come next year. We need commitment from you guys. Anyway, so that was the end of today's training. Sorry this has taken so long. You guys can watch it at your will. But thank you for your time, and good night. We'll touch base tomorrow.